Clearing the slate. Affidavit of foreign status. This affidavit of foreign status is a public notice to all interested parties concerning the affiant's birthrights and his status as an American inhabitant, as that status would apply with respect to the American states, the 50 independent states of the Union, and respect to the United States as follows. 1. The undersigned affiant was naturally born as a free, sovereign and affiant state of birth, which is one of the sovereign states of the Union of several states joined together comprising the confederation known as the United States of America. 2. The affiant is, therefore, a non-resident alien individual residing in United States, which entity obtains its exclusive legislative authority and jurisdiction from Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, and Article 4, Section 3, Clause 2 of the Constitution for the United States of America. 3. The affiant's parents were sovereigns also, born in sovereign states of the Union. 4. As the progeny of sovereign people, the affiant was born, one of the sovereign people, a constituent member of the sovereignty synonymous with the people. Scott v. Sanford, 19-404. 5. The affiant is alien to a so-called 14th Amendment, United States citizen and non-resident to so-called I-4th. 16. The presumption of innocence. Amendment state residency, and therefore, he is a non-resident alien with respect to both 6, as a sovereign whose citizenship originated in affiant state of birth, by birth, and who has remained intact in affiant state of birth since then. The affiant, also a foreigner alien with respect to the other 49 states of the Union, and with respect to the corporate United States. 7, as a consequence of his birth. The affiant is an American inhabitant. 8. The affiant, to the best of his knowledge and belief, has not entered into any valid agreements of voluntary servitude. 9. The affiant is a non-resident alien with respect to the United States as that term is defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, IRC, Title 26, United States Code, and Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder as follows. The Internal Revenue Code, Title 26, United States Code, and associated federal regulations clearly and thoroughly make provision for Americans born and living within one of the 5 sovereign states of America, to wit 26 CFR 1.8714 proof of residence of aliens of the federal zone. Rules of evidence. The following rules of evidence shall govern in determining whether or not an alien within the United States, incorporated, has acquired residence therein for purposes of the income tax. Be non-residence presumed. An alien by reason of his alienage is presumed to be a non-resident alien. 10. The affiant was not born or naturalized in the United States. Consequently, he is not a citizen of the United States nor a United States citizen, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C., and or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder, and therefore he is not subject to the limited, exclusive territorial or political jurisdiction and authority of the United States as defined. The United States is definitive and specific when it defines one of its citizens as follows. 26 CFR 1.11 Income tax on individuals. See who is a citizen. Every person born or naturalized in the United States and subject to its jurisdiction is a citizen. 11. The affiant is not a citizen of the United States nor a United States citizen living abroad, as those phrases are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 12. The affiant is not a resident alien residing within the geographical boundaries of the United States, as that phrase is defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 13. The affiant is not a United States person, domestic corporation, estate trust, fiduciary, or partnership, as those terms are defined and used within. The Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C., and/or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 14. The affiant is not an officer, employee, or elected official of the United States, or state, or of any political subdivision thereof, nor of the District of Columbia, nor of any agency or instrumentality of one or more of the foregoing, nor an officer of a United States corporation, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and/or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 15. The affiant receives no income with respect to employment from any sources within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States and does not have an office or other fixed place of business within the United States from which the affiant derives any income of wages as such, as those terms and phrases are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C., and/or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 16. The affiant has never engaged in the conduct of a rade or business within the United States, nor does the affiant receive any income or other remuneration effectively connected with the conduct of a trade or business within the United States, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and/or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 17. The affiant receives no income, wages, self-employment income, or other remuneration from sources within the United States, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and/or thereunder. Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated. 18. All remuneration paid to the affiant is for services rendered outside, without, the exclusive territorial, political, and legislative jurisdiction and authority of the United States. 19. The affiant has never had an office or place of business within the United States, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and/or Title 27, and the rules and regulation promulgated thereunder. 20. The affiant has never been a United States employee, nor employer, nor employee, which also includes, but is not limited to, an employee and/or employer for a United States household and/or agricultural activity, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and/or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 21. The affiant has never been involved in any commerce within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States, which also includes, but is not limited to, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, and Title 16, Subtitle D, any excises and privileged occupations, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and/or Title 27, and the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 22. The affiant has never been a United States withholding agent, as those terms are defined and used within the Internal Revenue Code, 26 U.S.C. and/or Title 75. (27) And the rules and regulations promulgated thereunder. 23. The affiant has no liability for any type, kind, or class of federal income tax in past years, and is entitled to a full and complete refund of any amounts withheld, because any liability asserted and amounts withheld were premised upon a or mistake or facts regarding the affiant status. 24. The affiant has never knowingly, intentionally, and voluntarily changed his citizenship status, nor has he ever knowingly, intentionally, and voluntarily elected to be treated as a resident of the United States. 25. The affiant, to best of his current knowledge, owes no tax of any type, class, or kind to the United States, as those terms are defined.